Hey, this is Robert Yang. I want to talk to you about a frequently asked question that I get in my practice. And that question is, Robert, should I consume diet soda or should I consume regular soda? And I respond saying, well, do you want to get hit over the head by a hammer or do you want to get hit over the head by this dumbbell? It's going to hurt whether you choose the regular soda or the diet soda. It's going to hurt you different metabolically, physiologically, and your overall health. Now let's first go over the regular Cokes. Regular soda. Let's say the hammer represents that regular Coke. Now the main difference between the regular sodas and the diet soda is the sweetener. And the main sweetener that's being used is high fructose corn syrup. We know from 1970 to 1990 it's increased by about 1,000%. Now that's almost 20 years ago, 19 years to be exact, since it's 2009, so we can expect that it's actually increased even more. So what we want to discuss here is really sugar. Is high fructose corn syrup the same as sucrose? Well, it is similar, but it's actually very, very different as well. Meaning they are composed of different types of sugars, but in varying amounts. So to give you an example, sucrose is made of 50% glucose and 50% fructose. Now high fructose corn syrup can be as high as 80% fructose and 20% glucose. Now this becomes a problem because it doesn't cause a rise in insulin. Now, most people say, well, Robert, that's great because if it doesn't cause insulin to go up, well, insulin is a fat-storing hormone, or it can be a fat-storing hormone if you're over-consuming sugars. So if it doesn't cause an insulin rise, that's a good thing. Well, the problem is they found that with fructose consumption is that you don't need a transporter hormone to actually store it into adipose tissue or to liver tissue. So that's why you can look at high fructose corn syrup in research and it's considered an obesity-genic type of food product, meaning it tends to create obesity in people or cause people to gain weight. Like I said before, you don't need a transport mechanism, so it can be readily stored into the liver, and there's plenty of research looking at non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So you don't have to drink alcohol to get actually a fatty liver. You can do it by just drinking tons of soda a day. Now the other thing you want to be concerned with high fructose corn syrup consumption is AGs. Those are anti-glycation end products. Now these anti-glycation end products are known to cause inflammation in the body. They also cause a thickening in the blood. Now if your blood gets thicker, what's going to happen is that it's thicker, so the body has to pump, or the heart has to pump that blood to other parts of your body. Now that becomes harder, so what ends up happening? The blood pressure goes up. Blood pressure goes up, you got to go on blood pressure medications. So you want to really avoid these high fructose corn syrup products in soda because it can impact your blood pressure, increase inflammation. Again, it's considered obesity-genic. They did a study actually with a comparison of glucose subjects and fructose-consuming subjects, and they showed that insulin sensitivity as well as insulin binding, and that just means the ability for your body to store glucose that's in the blood into cells, for example, striated muscle tissue. So ability to store carbohydrates, glucose into muscle cells. Well, that's a good thing because you're actually storing it in a good place versus storing it in fat cells. Now that insulin sensitivity actually decreased in the only fructose consuming subjects, and it did it only in a week. So if you're consuming soda for a week, you can actually decrease your insulin sensitivity as well as your insulin binding. So really take out the high fructose corn syrup consumption in your sodas. Your health is going to improve, your energy is going to improve, a lot of different things will improve in your health. Now on the flip side, we've got diet sodas, and the main sweetener is aspartame. Now we know aspartame is broken down into three components: aspartic acid, phenylalanine, and methanol. Now aspartic acid and phenylalanine are excitotoxins, and what that means is it literally excites the nerve cells in your brain to a slow neuronal death. Now the expert on this is Dr. Russell Blaylock, and you can look at some of his research, but he's an expert on excitotoxins. So if you want to burn off more brain cells than you have, then drink diet soda and aspartame drinks. Now the other byproduct that is broken down to is methanol. Now methanol forms into formic acid, but also can be broken down to formaldehyde in the body. And formaldehyde, for those of you that have taken anatomy classes in college, That's how they preserve cadavers. Now, if you've ever been in a cadaver lab, you can get very nauseous, very sick just by breathing in those fumes. And this formaldehyde is a known carcinogen. It's a known neurotoxin, meaning it attacks the nervous system. So if we have this representing a nerve, we have a myelin sheath over that nerve, and that myelin sheath is protective to the nerve. Well, formaldehyde will break down that myelin sheath and expose that nerve to damage. So it's really something you should not be drinking. Side effects include headaches, you got migraines, abdominal pains, fatigue, anxiety, vision problems, even sleep problems. Depression problems have been related, asthma attacks. These are all related to aspartame consumption. So really, there's not what's the better of the worst. They're both bad. So remember, you don't want to get hit over the head with the hammer or the dumbbell over the head and get a Ivanko printed on your forehead. So some actions that you can take if you are a diet soda fiend or a regular soda fiend is, I've always explained to clients, is always put in the good stuff before you take out the bad stuff. That way you get less withdrawal, less sugar cravings, less side effects as you're coming off the sodas or regular sodas or diet sodas. So the first thing is drink half your body weight in ounces of water a day. So for example, if you're a 200-pound male, then you drink 100 ounces of water daily, on a daily basis. Once you start doing that, you're going to start feeling better, and most likely you're not going to feel a need for something fizzy, sugary, like a Diet Coke or regular Coke. The other thing that people don't realize as well is, especially if you are a avid drinker of regular Coke, is that it's a high amount of sugar consumption. So it's anywhere from 6 to possibly 12, maybe 13 teaspoons of sugar per 12-ounce can. So when you're drinking that much sugar a day, you're depleting minerals in your body quite rapidly. Chromium, vanadium, you're depleting magnesium, all the trace minerals. So you want to add those minerals back in. A good way to do that as you're increasing your water intake is to actually use Celtic sea salt or Himalayan salt, some kind of unrefined sea salt, because it has sodium but also has a lot of trace minerals that you can replenish in your body, and you'll feel a lot better, or you'll have the actual water retained within your cells versus peeing all the water out as you're increasing your water intake. And then the last recommendation is to slowly take out your soda over a long period of time. I find that works the best without any withdrawal or side effects. So to give you an example, if you're drinking 3 cans of soda, whether it's diet or regular a day, for 1 week, you knock it back to 2 a day. For the second week, you knock it back to 1 a day. The third week, maybe do it every other day. Then the fourth week, you may have it maybe once on the weekend. But oftentimes, if you've been adding in the good stuff, hydrating properly, you won't even feel the need to go back to soda because you'll be feeling good. You won't feel the need for sugar or something bubbly to drink because now you're fully hydrated. So just to recap, remember, half your body weight ounces of water a day. Slowly add in some Celtic sea salt into your water, just a pinch. If it tastes like salt water like the ocean, you put way too much in there. And then the last thing is slowly decrease your soda over a slow period of time. That will be long-lasting and effective.